Hello, everyone. We have come back with more picks. Let's just say last week was not a good week overall, although a miracle did happen. Miracle has happened at this table. Sean has finally won a week.
Unless Bryn wants to try and tie by picking the 49ers over the Packers.
Look, even though I'd love to try and make it so he doesn't, I'm not changing my pick. Because that'd just be ridiculous.
Then I'll change mine. No, I'm kidding. I only have 5 so far, right? So I'm
We
out.
should have 6.
Should.
I mean, if the Packers lose tonight,
I'm stuck with 5 for the week. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
you know what? It doesn't matter because we're going into a new week, and now we're getting positive again. And I'm gonna go. What do we got? 14. I'm gonna go 14-0 this week with my picks. That's my bold predict. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that stupid. So like every week, we're gonna go through. I didn't even pick a lock this week. We're gonna go through. So I'll just make a lock as we go.
I didn't do a lock.
We're an upset. Sean doesn't even have an upset this week, so clearly we weren't as rich as we thought we were. We're going to go through the games, we're going to discuss them a little bit, and see where we end up. So the first game of the week is Thursday Night Football. It's a showdown. It's one that we're all going to watch very closely this week. You got the Broncos at the Cardinals. Two teams that are fighting for a play. Okay, it's a terrible game. So I put the upset pick on there. Cardinals at home. You know, didn't I argue against you guys 2 weeks ago for the Cardinals, and now all of a sudden I'm picking them as the upset pick? I don't like the Cardinals. I don't, but I don't like the Broncos even more. And the Cardinals are at home, so I'm going with the home argument again. I don't think either of these teams are anywhere near the playoffs. I don't think either of these teams are anywhere in the talk of the playoffs coming in. Broncos put up a good game this week, but they put up good games and then have letdowns the next week. So that's why I'm going Cardinals at home as my upset pick of the week.
I mean, I don't really like the Broncos.
Case Keenum sucks.
I'll just take the Broncos. That's really all I can say.
I mean, there's really not much to say about this
No.
game. It's an awful game. And that's our Thursday Night Football, folks.
Case Keenum versus Josh Rosen.
Yep, it's great.
So we're going to go to the next one. Then we start the week off with Titans versus Chargers. We have all taken Chargers at home. Titans need to find some sort of offense.
Yeah.
Here, it's coming really soon. That's been pitiful these last couple weeks since they beat the Jaguars. Then we got Patriots at Bears, and Sean, I'll pass this one to
Real
you.
quick, they didn't have a good offense there either.
Well, they did at the end of the game when they beat the Eagles on that final drive.
Yeah, that's about it.
That was about the only spot this whole season that they've had a good offense. But Sean, take it away with Patriots and Bears, which is funny because the pick you made is the one that you think everyone would make.
Right? Well, the Patriots are traveling to Chicago. They played Sunday Night Football. They had a dramatic win over the Chiefs. Tom Brady's just doing Tom Brady things. The reason why I went with the Patriots is simply this. The Bears just lost to Brock Osweiler. And not just like lost. He put up over 300 yards passing. What do you think Tom Brady's going to do?
Have a letdown, and that's why I picked the Bears. That's why I picked the Bears, because Tom Brady's coming off one of his highest scoring throwing games on a Sunday Night Football game, so he has less time to prepare for the next one. I'm looking for a letdown. I think the Patriots are the better team, but I'm looking for a letdown from Tom Brady here. And the Bears that defense had 0 sacks against Brock Osweiler after being one of the best defenses in the league. That's awful. Bears aren't going to do that 2 weeks in a row, and I think Patriots are going to have a letdown. I think Bears are going to squeak this one out.
I just think the Patriots are riding the ship. You know, everyone was worried.
Except Gronk.
Everyone thought the Dolphins were the team to beat in that division. Well, then
They
they were 4-1. You know, they were looking.
They were never 4-1. They were 3-0 at one point, though.
3-0.
They were never 4-1.
But look, the Patriots are getting the ship right. They're playing better on the offensive side of the ball. I think their defense still has holes. I mean, Chicago has a decent offense, but again, they just let Brock Osweiler destroy them through the air, and Albert Wilson.
I'm doing all of the arguments for Bryn's Bears here right now, but the Patriots, I think the Bears did the same general thing that the Vikings did with the Bills a couple weeks ago. They went to that game after watching what the Dolphins had done 2 weeks in a row, basically embarrassed themselves 2 weeks in a row, and came in and thought, we have a week off, we're not going to have trouble with this should be an easy win, and they blew it. So I don't think the Bears are as bad as that game on defense. I think the Bears just didn't prepare well enough, which sucks because they had 2 weeks to prepare.
Well, I get that, but I just think the Patriots are
I think Patriots are better. I agree with that. But like I said, I think a letdown's coming after a tough-fought win over the Chiefs. That it was all the refs.
But I guess Brendan doesn't want to.
Brent is not saying a word over
So
here.
we'll just move
I didn't
on.
know a word in. I didn't have much to say.
Yeah, we'll just move on. The next game up is Bills versus the Colts. We're all on the Colts train.
Screw it, that's my lock.
Even though
What?
what?
I locked the Colts last week too, and I missed it.
I locked that.
Yeah, that's a tough.
I locked the Colts against the Jets, and I embarrassed myself. So I'm locking the Colts against the Bills this
Well,
week.
you heard it.
That
He's
makes
locking
no
the
sense,
Colts
but
over the
alright.
Bills.
Well,
who
you know, I locked
apparently.
against. I was the same person who locked against the Bucks the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, but
So
that makes sense because Bucks weren't
Yeah.
expected to.
even
be
though they
that
put up
good.
30-some points on the first.
Yeah, but all right. There's not much to really talk about in that game. Moving forward, the Lions at the Dolphins. This game is mostly a pick'em, so there is really no favorite. But we're all on the Lions.
Which I'm
train.
shocked at.
They had a bye week. Again, Miami had that emotional win over Chicago. I just don't think.
They're getting Ryan Tannehill probably
Yeah, they're
back.
getting Ryan
you know, they're
Tannehill
losing
back.
to
He's
Joe-
week to week though. He's week to week, so
Yeah,
that's
so
no guarantee.
I just think the Lions are the better football team.
They're gonna start Osweiler over a healthy Tannehill after that. I think
Maybe.
they're like 5 interceptions this
Maybe.
week.
The next game up is the Vikings versus the Jets. We are all on the
Like, all of a
Vikings
sudden,
train.
He's taking back over.
he was like, screw it, Danny's going way too
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling with the
Vikings and Jets, real quick. This where I'll jump in here. You know,
Brent's gonna talk today?
Brent's
I'm
gonna
gonna
talk.
make this my lock.
Oh.
I really think the Jets right now, the last 2 weeks, have been completely overhyped. They beat the Broncos and Colts, who both are two teams that just we don't know what's going on, and I just think that the Vikings probably will finally bring that offense back to reality.
Hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully we don't have another Bills week.
I don't think so. I think Jets
Nah,
are
not
keeping
against
the
the
high.
Jets. Right.
Yeah.
The next game up is the Panthers at Eagles, which should be a good game.
It should be. I can't believe it came to me alone picking the Eagles at home for this one after the Panthers put up the game they did this week. I still don't think that Eagles defense is any good. Corey Clement's not bad, but they don't have that great of a running game right now. But I also think that they're better at home. They're kind of like the Cowboys. Is when they are at home, they play a lot better. I never fully understood that, but hey, whatever. It's your home turf. I'll put it. So I think the Eagles are going to squeak by. I think this is going to be a close one though. I don't think they're that much better than the Panthers right now.
Yeah, I do too. And this is actually my upset of the week. You can write that down. I am on the Panthers train. I think they lost the Redskins because of 2 DJ Moore fumbles. I mean, that really cost them because they had put together some decent drives early on the game, only to have those 2 fumbles cost them. So if you look at it, the Redskins Panthers game was a lot closer than what it really was.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that the Panthers are that bad of a football team. I think their defense is better than the Eagles' defense, not by much.
I think they're actually a lot better than the Eagles. I think the Eagles defense is a mess. They might click as the season goes,
Right.
but right now I still think the Eagles defense is a mess.
Right, and I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be the difference maker in this game. You know, he's been quiet. He has his couple of big weeks here and there, but for the most part, he's kind of having a quiet season. But I think this is the kind of game where Christian McCaffrey. We all know the Eagles' defense against the run has been pretty stout, but against pass catching backs, they are vulnerable.
Mhm.
So I think to me, Christian McCaffrey, this is just kind of the screams, one of those games. Plus, if Olsen can stay healthy, I think it's going to be really fun to watch Olsen versus Ertz in a battle of the tight ends. So
That
for
could
me,
be.
I'm just going to go with the
Didn't you
Panthers.
trade Olsen's for Ertz in a league earlier
Yeah.
this year?
Yes, I did. And it was the right move.
It was perfect timing.
Right? The next game up is the one that we kind of struggled with. Browns versus the Bucks. And the Bucks are at home favorites.
I don't know how they're favorites, so.
Right?
They're still on the hype of the
It's a
early part
really
of the season.
bad, like defense.
Right?
I
But we all took the Browns.
But look at it this way: the Browns' passing defense has been terrible this year. They're among the worst.
But yeah,
But they get interceptions. They get
No,
turnovers.
their run defense is among the worst.
No, it's their pass defense.
No, their run defense.
Well, apparently their defense is worse
Because
than
Melvin Gordon just had like a huge game against
Yeah.
him with 3 touchdowns, and Rivers didn't do that great against the Browns
Well,
defense.
Tyrell Williams had like.
Yeah, Tyrell Williams was a big one. But
Yeah, but overall, that defense still puts up fantasy points. But overall points, if you take fantasy out of it, that defense has not played good. But with that being said, I would argue that this is our weekly. We all picked against the line upset of the week.
what happened last week with that?
I think we all lost.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it could just as well easily be the
Throw the
Bucks
floor.
in this game. But to me, I think the Browns are better than what they showed up last week. I mean, they got blown out against the Chargers, but anytime you have an East Coast team that travels to the West Coast, it's always tough, especially if the time changes and things like that. So for me, I think we're all on the Browns train, but this could very well easily be a Bucs win. The next game up is Jaguars and Texans, and Bryn finally gets to talk because
Well, I'll take this from him.
Bryn picked the Texans to upset the Jaguars.
I'm still surprised it's being called an upset right now. What's this?
I'm doing the handover. You're gonna end up
You get
taking
the
this.
paper.
You're gonna end up
Do I get
taking
the paper?
You get the paper because it's your upset.
So I get to not talk non-stop now.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised the Jaguars are favored after the last couple of weeks they've been having. Texans have been on a streak. I mean, I know they haven't looked great, but at the same time, Bills' defense is not as bad as like.
They're actually
all
solid.
said.
They're actually solid. We were all wrong on that.
So Houston looks like they're starting to click on offense, and Jaguars' defense looks like it's starting to really start to struggle. I mean, Dak Prescott, who's had a miserable season, just looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Looked like Troy Aikman throwing it to Michael Irvin this week.
Yeah, Cole Beasley. Who would have thought that name would be coming back up as a top? I mean, it's just. I don't know what to expect from the Jaguars, and right now I'm not expecting much, so that's why I picked Houston in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm going with the Jaguars is historically Bortles has not been great. However, if you look at his numbers against the Texans, against that Texans defense, he has historically played extremely well. I don't think this is going to be any different because it's not like the Texans defense is all that amazing. I know they are playing better. However, I just think this could be one of those games where Jacksonville kind of rights the ship a little bit. I think the biggest letdown on that defensive side of the ball is I think they kind of were overconfident against a struggling Cowboys offense. So that's what I'm going to chalk it up to. And let's be honest, Conor McGregor's at the game. He probably threatened the Jaguars tour bus with a dolly, and that's why they probably threw the game. So that's my story actually to it.
Yes, of course. Jaguars have one of the top defenses still, even if Dak Prescott does look like the greatest quarterback of all time against them. And I believe, and there's multiple teams, it's not just the Texans. I think Texans are among one of those teams that are being overly hyped all of a sudden because they've gotten a couple wins put together. So I don't think they're as good as their record. I don't think they're going to be a 500 team even this year. So I think Jaguars are going to run away with this one.
What is their record? 3-2?
They're 3-3, I thought. They haven't had the bye week yet.
Yeah,
They're
the
3-3.
Titans, Jaguars, and Texans are all 3-3.
Yeah,
and the
they're
Colts
3-3.
are like 1 and.
It looks like I get to go now with this.
Yes, it's for the first time this year.
Ah, man, all right.
Okay,
so the next game on the list is Saints and Ravens, and ironically, we also all picked against the grain on this one.
How are the Ravens favored?
How are the Ravens favored over the Saints?
Speaking of teams that are overhyped because of a couple of wins, I would also put the Ravens in that category.
Well, I think if you look at this line, the reason why the Ravens are favored is they're at home.
And it's got to be that defense.
That defense. And historically, Drew Brees playing outside on the road. I mean, we all know what Drew Brees is capable of, but historically, the numbers aren't as great as where he's in a dome, in a controlled atmosphere. So I think if you combine all that stuff, that's why the Ravens are favored.
And to be fair, Ravens' best game this year, they did look really good against Nathan Peterman.
Well, they did blow out the Steelers, who are now somehow Super Bowl favorites.
Oh, good point.
So, I mean, it's not like this Ravens defense can flip that switch and just shut down the Saints offense.
Yes, it is. Anyway, you were saying something?
No, I was just going to keep going.
But-
Okay.
This next one's a tough choice.
The next one, we all surprisingly picked the Rams over the 49ers.
I know.
Granted, if 49ers show up this week and destroy the Packers, I'm still picking the Rams.
Yeah. I might change my pick.
If I take the 49ers and they win, do I get plus 2 points?
Yes. I'll give you +5.
Plus
Plus 5?
5, that's
For this one right here.
That's almost worth
for the
taking.
Rams 49.
But if you get it wrong, you get -6.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I know
that's not good.
You give me if you give me
Fine, you
plus,
get -3 if you lose
if
it.
you give me plus 5 and -2, I would take it.
+5 -2. Oh, great, now we're doing these things.
This is
Plus
too
five.
confusing.
I know it is. Well, I'm sticking with it.
Okay, Rams are our pick.
Surprisingly, the next 3 games are all going to be really boring. There's not going to be much arguments.
That's why we gave it to you, by the way.
Oh, okay. Cowboys at the Skins. We all went Redskins on that. I guess none of us were that excited about the Cowboys.
But we were excited about the Redskins beating the Panthers.
That's right.
Yeah, we all missed it. Sunday night should be an interesting game. I'm excited. Bengals and Chiefs. We all think the Chiefs will recover from that tough loss to the Patriots.
It'll be a close one though. But this is the first flex game of the year.
I am honestly close to switching the Bengals just because I don't. I mean, I'm probably not going to. I'm not going to change in the video, but keep an eye out. I might change it later. But it's going to be a fun game. I mean, I think it's going to be real close. I think it's going to be a shootout. And I think
Rehash it this week.
start both quarterbacks if you have them.
Just start everyone from this game.
Probably.
Yeah.
Just like we said last week, start every Bengals player against the Steelers, which most of that was right.
And
Just
then-
start everyone in this game.
And then after that Sunday night game, hold your seats because we got an exciting Monday night
2 weeks in
game.
a row, our Monday night games are killers.
Monday night we got the New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons.
I think
Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, we're all on the Falcons train. It's pretty hard to pick.
Hey, I will say this. Odell Beckham will probably have a huge game on Monday night and lose.
If he doesn't, is it time to drop Odell Beckham?
Trade him at
Yes.
the very least.
Yeah, drop Odell Beckham. He won't get picked up by anybody.
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
All right, guys. Well, that was our Week 7 NFL picks. Please like and subscribe our videos. Stay tuned to more content. We're going to change up the formula a little bit when it comes to our fantasy outlook this week. So feel free to comment below anything you'd like to see, whether it be certain picks, certain things we'd like to talk about.
Let's be honest though, no one watches this video.
No one really watches these videos. I'm probably just talking to thin air right now. So we are the Fantasy Forecasters, and we predicted just as good as the weatherman.